show up?
I think a lot of people are going to show up. Everyone loves Trump. How could you not love Trump with what's going on in our country the last 4 years?
Absolutely.
How could you not be on this man's side? The way they're politically persecuting him. They're weaponizing the government against him because they don't want him in office. That's election interference.
Do you think that New Yorkers are for Trump?
I do think New Yorkers are for Trump. I think you're going to see a lot of seats turning. We just turned a New York City Council seat. New York City Council 13. Hasn't been Republican in 40 years. First woman was elected last year. And now it's my turn. Because we're going to fire AOC. I'm going to get into office. I'm going to stop her radical policies that are destroying us. They're destroying us from within.
What is your message to AOC? This is her district, right?
Debate me. Donde está, Alexandria? Where are you? I took the train here. Without security, I took the train, I walked the streets, I'm speaking to the people. Where are you? They don't want what she's giving them. She's giving them nothing. Mierda.
Donde está, Alexandria? Donald Trump's rally in the Bronx brought out more MAGA characters than the ones that were invited to be extras outside of his criminal trial last week, like Tina Forte there, who decided to run against AOC again after a thoroughly unsuccessful attempt in 2022. The whole point of this rally was to act like Trump gives a damn about black and brown constituents, so Byron Donalds was there too to fulfill his duties.
Let's go, Brandon. 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 Oh, I'm telling you, Bronx, you're making me feel good.
What more do you need to ignore all of the destructive, self-serving promises that Trump has made and vote for him so he can avoid his crimes? Especially since Forte's husband and son were busted by the FBI a few years ago for coordinating a huge drug deal at their location of their small business. I guess the only thing left is to talk about how horrible you think New York is.
Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our sidewalks are littered with garbage, bottles, and trash. But worst of all, the discarded needles from people that so desperately are in need of help. And we have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers and giving America the middle finger.
Unless Trump is running for some state seat in New York where he can fix the issues that he makes sure to never be anywhere near, I'm not sure how he's going to clean up the subways that he's probably never even seen. But he did fail to pass an infrastructure package when he was in the White House, so at least he has a track record on what he won't do about his complaints.
I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. And remember, Black, Hispanic, Asian people need this protection and safety more than anyone else. Don't ever forget it. And after years of talk by the radical left Democrats, we are going to give them the protection they need, and we're going to protect our police. We're going to make sure they do a great job. They can do it very quickly.
Weird how the former president looks to indemnify cops, but has nothing but hate to toss at every aspect of our criminal justice system that happens to be prosecuting him and his associates for breaking the law over and over again. It's almost like he thinks he should be above the law while letting as many unhinged cops know that their proven tendency to violently target minorities will be welcomed because, you know, they're the criminals.
Today I'm here for various reasons, but I want to tell you first that as a Puerto Rican, as a Hispanic, I want to apologize to you for the conduct of Judge Juan Merchan. As a Hispanic, I want to apologize.
Thank you.
He's been used. He has been used to destroy you. But we know better than that. We know better than that.
For real, this rally had everything. Even former New York City Councilman Ruben Diaz there, who felt the need to apologize on behalf of all Latinos for the way Judge Merchan is doing his job in Trump's criminal trial. You know, because when a Puerto Rican councilman apologizes for a Colombian-born judge, that pleases a bigot that makes conclusions about people based on their background.
And so does Merchan, loathes me. The judge hates Donald Trump. Just take a look. Take a look at him. Take a look at where he comes from. I've been treated very unfairly by this judge. Now, this judge is of Mexican heritage. I'm building a wall. Okay, I'm building a wall. He's a member of a society where, very pro-Mexico, and that's fine. It's all fine. But I think he should recuse himself. He's of Mexican heritage, and he's very proud of it.
When he speaks to black folks, he tells them that they love him because he's involved in the criminal justice system. They can relate to that. When he speaks to Latinos, he welcomes a guy that apologizes for a lack of fealty from every one of his people. And he thinks this makes him look like a powerful figure in the world stage.
President Xi of China, Putin, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary. Very tough guy, known as a strongman. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strongman. Trump loves strongmen. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better, because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person, but he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use afraid. I use the word respect. They respected your president.
So now Americans should take advice from Viktor Orban on who to vote for in our elections, because Trump makes authoritarians shake in their boots. Or is it because they know he'll give them whatever they want as long as they act like they like him? He probably displayed his ability to negotiate with foreign leaders when he posted this. Evan Gershkovich, the reporter from the Wall Street Journal who's being held by Russia, will be released almost immediately after the election, but definitely before I assume office. He will be home, safe, and with his family. Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, will do that for me, but not for anyone else. And we will be paying nothing. Nothing says uncorrupted like publicizing deals that you claim you've made with autocratic figures to release Americans held hostage in exchange for votes back at home. He essentially made that reporter a political prisoner again, so that both he and Putin can benefit from him regaining his freedom. What he did mention was that the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Putin has not had any contacts with Donald Trump on the matter, which is sadly better than if he has, because we'll never know what Trump would have promised to give him in return. But last thing on this rally meant to convince people that Trump has captured the minority vote that he continues to disrespect. Because as usual, they claim that his crowd was enormous and shows an avalanche of minority support. But many people weren't buying it, mostly based on the aerial shots of the event posted by a Democratic official who wrote this. This is why the Trump campaign didn't release any aerial shots of his South Bronx rally. MAGA claims 25,000 people showed up, but this photo, taken while Trump spoke on stage, shows a crowd 1/10 that size.
2, 3, go! Trump! We died over here. What's going on? You gotta cheer. Much better.
It was enough to make Congressman Richie Torres, who represents the Bronx, say, Donald Trump's rally may be in the South Bronx, but it is not of the South Bronx. Bluntly put, the Trump transplants are much wider than the locals of the South Bronx, which is almost entirely Latino and black. So I guess the Trump camp figured it was worth at least trying to convince anyone that this rally is proof that if he doesn't win in November, they cheated him out of the minority vote. All the puppets got their talking points as they left their auditions outside of his criminal trial to bring some new ones here.
Here's why Trump is winning with black voters. Black voters want some of the same things that every voter wants, which is honesty. Remember, Joe Biden is the guy who had the gall to say condescendingly that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, you know what? People have eyes. Black people and all voters alike understand what 4 years under Donald Trump was like versus 4 years under Joe Biden. They respect that honesty, and I think that's why we're seeing these unprecedented numbers from minority communities across the board going for Donald Trump, and I think that could be a landslide ahead this year. The last time a Republican for president went to the South Bronx was actually Ronald Reagan in 1980, and that made a big difference then. I think we can have a 1980, 1984 style Reagan outcome this year. And I think it's fantastic that President Trump is going to the South Bronx, not putting on theatrics like Joe Biden is doing, trying to check boxes.